Still back up, 17 Beach Lane.
You're recognized.
Thank you. So, Mr. President, the council majority should be embarrassed that it introduced Ordinance 2233, which would slash the time that each member of the public has to address the council. Unlike almost every other ordinance, this ordinance has no whereas clauses. Typically, an ordinance has a preamble that explains the reason why the ordinance is needed. This ordinance doesn't give a reason why it's needed because the council majority doesn't want to admit the real reason why it's ramming this ordinance down the public's throat. Well, the public is not fooled. I'll tell the public why the council majority wants to slash the public speaking time. If members of the public were coming up here and praising the mayor for 6 minutes, I guarantee you that you would not be slashing our speaking time. But usually, when members of the public make the time and effort to come to a council meeting, it's because we have a concern or a complaint about wasteful spending, or because there's a quality of life issue or a public safety issue that the mayor and his administration failed to address. If you could completely stop the public from criticizing the mayor, you would. But state law prevents you from shutting us up completely, so you're doing the next best thing. You're slashing 33% off our time to question you and to criticize the mayor. So let me show you what the public thinks of your attempt to gag us. To make my point 33% more efficiently, I'm going to emphasize my statement with symbolic speech. I'm holding up a copy of Ordinance 2233. This shows what the public thinks of this insulting ordinance. I'm tearing it up and holding up the pieces. 1/3 of it's gone. The U.S. Constitution gives the public the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Every member of the council took a solemn oath to uphold the Constitution. I'm holding up a copy of the Constitution to remind you of that oath. I'm holding up this Constitution to emphasize.
This will be served as a prop, as last discussed in last meeting.
No, it's
so
not.
you can use it as a prop. The Constitution, then we will take this as a warning. Because
I'm sorry, I'm not putting down the U.S. Constitution. This is my time. You're interrupting me. You're breaching decorum at this point. Let me continue.
All right, let's have continued to use the Constitution as a prop, as I have warned you. Your time is forfeited.
I'm using the Constitution.
Sir, if you continue, I will have to ask the police to remove you. I'm sorry.
If you're going to continue interfering with the decorum of the meeting, then you should be removed.
Yeah, kick them out.
I'm trying to continue a statement that I have
Officer,
throw them out.
constitutional right to make.
Officer, Councilor.
You took an oath to the U.S. Constitution, which includes a right
Are
of
you
free
asking
speech.
this person to leave?
Yes, break your oath. Break your oath.
I can't hear you. What's that, sir?
In violation, you can be removed. Thank you.
Yeah, break your oath to the Constitution.
Excuse me, sir.
Break your oth to that.
I appreciate
You
it.
took an oath.
Okay.
I won't require you.
We would not use force no matter what. We're just going.
Shame on you.
President.
Shame on the police for breaking their oath to the Constitution. They broke their oath to the Constitution. It's an unlawful order.
Have posted those rules.
Disgusting.
The ordinance that are being passed is just going to clarify.
I believe he said forfeit your time. I believe that.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You're gonna have to arrest me.
We're not arresting
You're gonna have to arrest me.
Why couldn't your term be another month, right? And we would have a new council president. Why are we even bothering with the code of fire?
You don't have to go for it if you choose not to. That is fine. Councilor Platt.
No, Constitution, my only the thing was the reason we are codifying this ordinance to define what those props are. But this ordinance is for the final hearing. Once it is adopted and somebody comes in, yes, you can go and say that, what is right, what is wrong. But this ordinance is not yet passed. It is not yet effective. But if you chose to use at your discretion, then we don't need any ordinance. For that matter, anyone can come and say, you get out from here, you're not allowed to speak, it's your discretion at the end of the day. Say none of these laws has any value. So why we are just changing it for the sake of changing it? That's my question there.
I believe it runs a better decorum, and I believe that this is a way to
the hell was
have
that?
a better conversation.
That was
And
not
I hope the council agrees with me when they vote on they don't, then you know what, I will take that into consideration and change the rules. Councilor Point.
Thank you, Council President. My question was just whether it was asked to sit down first prior to any subsequent things. I just wanted to make sure from a procedural aspect that that was followed. Thank you, sir.
Right. Moving on, I think we also list.
Joyce Ship Freeman.
You are recognized.
Thank you. I'm highly offended that the Constitution of America is treated in that manner in what we call the town hall. All right? These police officers.
Point of order is called. Yes, Councilman Pointer.
You're speaking on the resolution in regards to the
I'm
minutes.
speaking on the resolution if you let me.
But this is specifically to ordinance.
But listen, I'm speaking on the resolution. Am I talking
Stop
about
interrupting
the
her.
resolution about someone holding up
Ordinance
the Constitution?
2233. You're not talking about the right ordinance.
Listen. Listen. If you want to run a dictatorship, just tell me it's a dictatorship. Excuse me. If you want to make all the rules and dictate it the way you want it to, and you have other people supporting that, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people cutting people's time because, you know, if you're not able to conduct and do things properly, all of us residents who've been here longer than ever, we have to be punished. Our time hasn't been cut. We're not doing backflips. We're not doing anything other than standing up for our rights. So you can tell me, just like a person yelled at me when I was up here before, I'm not allowed to rebut the person. You're allowed to talk all this crazy stuff while I pay your salary, but I'm not allowed to say anything else. All right? And for somebody to say that the American flag, I think, hey, don't police officers wear the American flag on their clothes? They uphold the Constitution? I know for sure they do. All right? Because I know about police officers, all right? So to me, it's an embarrassment throughout the whole state that we do not believe in the Constitution and we do not believe in the American flag. And I'm very upset that we took civics out of school, because maybe if we kept civics in school, maybe if we kept civics, okay, dictator, I'm sitting down.
Thank you.
Good evening, Gloria Dickman.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I can understand the 4 minutes. Meetings get long. I can live with that. But I really wish you would reconsider the rebuttal. There always seems to be another point of view, and I could understand why people might feel stifled if they're not given the opportunity. Just wish you would consider it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle.
You're recognized.
Regarding this ordinance, I find it contrary to what you're trying to do. You're trying to shorten the meetings so that the 6 of us can't talk for 6 minutes. We can only talk for 4 minutes with no rebuttal. But because of this, you've gotten people upset. So normal people that come here, the few that do come here, are now being stifled because you're putting parameters on what they choose to talk about. When I come to speak, I'm a retired teacher. I may not talk in 4 minutes. I might talk in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But because you're saying reduce it to 4 minutes and then no rebuttal if I have a follow-up question is a true concern. I know we're going to be talking about the other ordinances, but this one is the true concern, because I don't understand. There might be underlying reasons why we're doing this, but I don't understand in times past and in years past, and I have been coming for quite a while, We never ran into this problem before. Yes, we might have a person or two that chooses to upset the apple cart, but the majority of the 6 of us that are here on a regular basis, we don't. I come for concerns. I have questions. I want to relate something that's going on in the town that you may not know about. But if it takes me more than 4 minutes, that means I can't speak anymore and I did not get my concern, and I feel paying the taxes that I do, I have a right to finish my statement. So I truly would like you guys, because Margot's not here, I can say all you guys, to think about it. Why are we really doing it? Is there an underlying reason, or is there a definite reason that you're trying to stifle some, but the others are being punished for it? So before this goes to a vote, and we're here to see who votes for it, and how many of you have been presidents before, did you have these problems, or is this just something that's very new? Think about it. Thank you, and I'll be up for the rest of the night. Oh, rebuttal. I thought we were going to get the time by this meeting.
I will follow up on that, but that's not part of the ordinance. Sorry.
Anthony Giammer, 25 Wiley.
You're recognized.
Regarding this ordinance, is it is pretty ridiculous that we go through the motions here, and Council President, you're left fighting the mayor's battle here, because this is his ordinance. Does anybody know where he stands? Does he have an opinion on this ordinance? Has anybody asked him? Has he made a comment on this? Does he support this ordinance? Because I have a funny feeling this does come from the 3rd floor. As he sits up here, up there, all right, and everybody's going back and forth, and you're taking it on the chin, all right? But this comes from him. There's no way that any reasonable person would think this is a smart decision, Council President. You're a smart guy. I would think you would know this. You look at the pushback here. So why doesn't the mayor come downstairs and defend this position? Because this is 100% come from him. I'd like to know where he stands on this issue. I'd like to know if he's been asked. Well, we all fight over this and argue. He's upstairs relaxing as you sit here and have to fight these battles. And it's a shame too, because you put these officers in a tough spot as well. Because now they're left to throw people out there and hold the Constitution. That's the last thing these guys probably want to do. All right? It's the last thing they want to do. They have more important things, better things to do than that. All right? So I'd like everybody to use a little more common sense, and I like to think myself as a reasonable human being. But this is the mayor. This has got his hands all over it. He's to blame for this. He's the only one to blame for this. And I hope you realize that, Council President. Is it worth it in the end to fight this battle over this? And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Me or somebody else?
No.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mary Ann Hennessy,
You're
Carmel
recognized.
Drive. Thank you. How do I phrase this to you? By what you're doing, you're limiting us, but you're leaving the council completely free to speak for as long as they want, and to rebuttal back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, we have to sit here and listen to it because we can't comment, because we'd already come up here. I find that that's unfair. I told you a couple of months ago that what you were doing is an indication of a dictatorship. It is. It really is. You're taking away my rights that are allowed to me by the Constitution, which you're denying. And there's no reason why you went after the gentleman who raised the Constitution. He simply raised it to show his respect for the Constitution. I normally don't do anything like this, but I lost a young uncle in the war when he was killed off the coast of Normandy. I had an uncle who was wounded in Germany. I don't appreciate you not allowing someone to hold up the flag. I don't appreciate you not allowing anyone to show the Constitution. I ask you to stop and seriously consider just exactly what you look like, not just to this limited number of people who come here, because a lot of people can't make it here. A lot of people are older and won't come out at night. But they see this, they hear this, and it goes on you. You may have gotten your orders from the mayor, but it goes on you. And it goes on you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Each one of you that sits up there and denies the rights to justify what we say by the fact that we have a Constitution. It exists. Right now, it exists. And I feel sorry for the police officers who had to step forward and actually violate their constitutional statement to do what you wanted done. I don't appreciate it. I've been coming to meetings for at least 30 years. And I do remember under June Choi, where his council limited the time to speak to 4 minutes. And that got pulled back and went back to 6 minutes, and it went to a 3-minute rebuttal. And I am telling you, first time I've ever had to say this, I am disgusted with what you're doing. I normally do not attack a person sitting up there as a person. If I attack you in your position. So make it clear to you, not you, but your position. I'm attacking it.
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road.
You recognize.
I object to this ordinance that reduces the time the public can comment at council meetings from 6 to 4 minutes. The council should reject this ordinance. Since 1986, I've seen thousands of people come up here and speak before the council, with only a handful abusing the opportunity. Many of those people are not trained public speakers and need the 6 minutes to present their comments and concerns on issues before the council. There are also issues and ordinances that come before the council that take more than 6 minutes to comment on. The council in the future is going to be reviewing and adopting the new zoning ordinance to implement the goals of the master plan. This may have over 100 changes, and it'll be hard enough to comment with just 6 minutes, never mind 4 minutes. Over the years, many council members started out as residents speaking at these meetings, many using their full 6 minutes. The effort by political forces to limit public comment and participation also has a negative effect on our democracy. This ordinance should be rejected. Thank you.
David?
Good evening, Thomas Lucky, Netherwood Circle.
You recognize.
You talk about the 4 minutes. A few months back, we talked about this. We brought this ordinance up. You tabled it. Now all of a sudden, it's coming up again. You talk about wasting your time. This is a prime example of it. A lot of the people that have been talking so far before me, similar comments they made a few months ago. Now we're reiterating it. They're reiterating it once again. The 4 minutes is just wrong. The rebuttal that's terrible. I've been coming to the council meetings only for a few months, as you may know. Once I get up and I talk my first time, I use all 6 minutes. After that, no, I didn't use it. You should give people the opportunity to use all of their 6 minutes if they so desire, and not stifle them back to the 4 minutes. Also, when the rebuttal period comes, a lot of times what you see, or when your answer or a comment that the council says to a point that I bring up, it's not necessarily correct. I need to go and try to clarify that for the start of a real dialogue. There's no back and forth. You need to go and vote this down. Maybe you should vote on it, but I want to see all no's and not a single yes on that dais. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue Malone, Barber, 85 Pleasant Avenue.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I'm upset. I'm disgusted with the way some residents have been treated when addressing this body. I'm appalled by the council's misguided attempts to militantly control the public because of the perceived sins of a few. I know all the reasons given why these ordinances are up and why they're going to pass, but I think the real reason lies in the disruption caused by some people coming here. And now tonight, with these ordinances up for a vote, we are making the militant approach to controlling public comments in this chamber official. And I would like to know what has been accomplished and what will be accomplished by passing them. I say absolutely nothing, because I believe it is not the handful of disruptive attendees who have gotten us to this point. It is the way the disruptions have been handled. Our council meetings have become dysfunctional and have devolved into a three-ring circus. As a result, the council has wasted tons of valuable time at the expense of the town, and innocent, serious residents with something to say have been scooped up in the madness. And I don't know why you don't see that. Throwing people like Lois Wilkie and Joyce out of the meeting, and potentially other people like Joel, just because you are hell-bent on winning, and the mayor is hell-bent on winning the fight to control the public, is ludicrous, rude, and juvenile. And these ordinances will only make things worse. We would be beyond all of this if you had just given everyone their 6 minutes and moved on. But we're not there, we're here. And I would also like to call out that it's incredibly disrespectful to me that you guys did not try and honor Council Vice President's request to delay this vote so she could have her say. I don't get that. What is the rush? What is the rush? You have the votes, you're going to pass it. Why couldn't she be here? That is sending a really, really bad message to the public. I have to tell you. I would also like to point out that limiting speaking time, and I agree with other residents who said especially eliminating rebuttal time, may seem like no big deal to those of you who are going to vote for this or vote yes on this ordinance. But the perception is that we are being stifled and you have the final word. We can't even correct a misunderstanding about something we've said without being warned. In the end, these ordinances will pass and the administration will continue with their ridiculous camera angles. But also in the end, residents won't forget how they were made to feel and how their voices were cut short and how they were handled. I would like to read this quote by Maya Angelou. People may forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Flags? Really? A crop?
Yes.
You gonna throw me out?
Yes.
Anybody else?
He wasn't even born under that flag.
My name is Moki Koyagi. I'm from 2901 Riverdale Way.
You're recognized.
I will try to be controlling this because these are triggered a lot of my emotions. That we are at a stage in the United States of America where somebody wants to control your time to speak, your time to question the policies, your time to question what is being presented before you, your time to question the rules that will affect you and your taxes and your kids in the school and all other policies and your environment. It is a shame. It is a big shame. I may understand where you're coming from and where the mayor is coming from, because you and me come from third world countries. We do things third world way. You today stopped a man from speaking, try to get him kicked out on an ordinance that has not even been passed. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Russ Azarello, Skylar Drive, Edison, New Jersey.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I'm against this ordinance as well. Edison's fifth, sixth largest municipality in the state. We should be going from 6 minutes to 8 minutes. There's a lot happening here. Many of us lived here 20, 30, 40 years. Edison's changed. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to be praised for the fire and police. There's a lot to not be praised. Traffic, whatever. This is my First Amendment, freedom of speech, to voice my opinion, to talk to you, to converse with you, to air my grievances, my complaints, my concerns, my praise, my suggestions, all of us. I agree with all the speakers tonight. Don't go back. We should be moving forward in time. 2024. This ain't 2002. This is 2024. Go progress. Go from 6 to 8 minutes. Not everybody uses their time. Many people go half the time or less. Many people don't come here or speak very little because they're nervous. Well, we're here to speak for them. There's people watching. There's people listening. Be respectful. Give us the time to talk, to converse, to counteract with you. There should be a rebuttal as well. Cut each other off many times. Rebuttal each other. Why don't we have that same opportunity and that same option? I like to read something. To some, the United States Constitution and the United States flag of America may seem unnecessary and minimal at times, even considered by some to be called props. But to many of us, the U.S. Constitution is here for just that very reason, especially when elected officials feel this way and look to attack and infringe on our First Amendment, freedom of speech, and freedom of expression while holding the U.S. flag. Not to be thought of lightly, especially as a prop. The U.S. flag is a strong, powerful, patriotic symbol of the United States of America, what our great country stands for. Let us not forget this meaning, nor allow others to forget as well. Keep the 6 minutes. Next time I'll bring up going to 8 minutes, but don't go to 4. Don't digress. Let's progress. Let's go from 6 to 8 or keep it to 6. And not for nothing, but people are watching. They may not be here, but people are watching. You're elected officials. You work for us. We're not here for you. You're there for us. You're there to control the meeting, make it run fluid, but you're not there to look down on us, stifle us. Let me ask you a question. I'm not an attorney. I'm a landscaper. But are you infringing on my First Amendment? You say my First Amendment is only worth 2/3 of the meeting, 2/3 of the chance to speak and voice my opinion? You're going from 6 minutes to 4. That's 1/3 of the time that you're cutting off. That means my First Amendment is only worth 2/3 of the amendment? That's not right. Listen, vote no. People are watching. You vote for us. Have our best interest in mind. Have the Edison residents' best interest in mind. Have the Edison tax-paying residents' best interest in mind. Be respectful. My mother died at 53, but I had great parents. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Be respectful. That was not respectful. That was unprofessional. Joel had a point to make. He was very professional and very respectful. What happened to him was uncalled for. It should never happen again. Thank you. I didn't have the flag, otherwise you would have thrown me out too. I left it there because I wanted to speak. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. Right here. My name is Edward Lefty Grimes. I'm with SativaCross.org. We're a 501c3 here in New Jersey fighting for disability rights and for cannabis patients' rights. Perhaps if you were born under the American flag, you wouldn't have the disrespect that I've seen for this American flag, or understand how we were born under this flag and we have certain feelings being born under the Constitution. So that maybe you don't feel the same, but maybe you need to, maybe it's time for some self-reflection. I need 4 minutes just to read Sam Joshi's police report. And I need another 2 minutes to mitigate the dirty words in Sam Joshi's police report. Words like anal and penis. I need time because you're gonna have rules that say we can't say penis and anal anymore. So I need time to come up with different words to say those words. So I need 6 minutes just to read Sam Joshi's police report. And I'll end that right there, and I'll have more to say later. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, yeah, Google it. Oh, yeah, Google it.
Rob Kento, 61 Meadow.
You're right.
And I think it was I object to this ordinance entirely, so let's just get that out of the way. But I think it was like 1995 or 1996. I came to a council meeting because I think it was the council president, Republican council president, maybe Coker Watts, was trying to do the exact same thing. And there was a lady at the door handing out these miniature Constitution booklets. I'll put it away. But she was handing them out. So that's how ridiculous this is. Okay? And it was a Republican council president, no less, that was trying to take away the time from us. It was 1995, 1996. I forget. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This is ridiculous. Just stop it.
Anybody else?
Good evening, council members. Charlie Cradaville. I'm from New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I'll start by correcting the record. Last time this ordinance came up, I spoke and I mentioned how instrumental the 6-minute time limit and the rebuttal was to our work to get this council to become the first to oppose the construction of a gas power plant just across the border in Woodbridge. And I don't know that that would have happened without it. I erroneously said that it was in the year 2022. It was actually 2021, so you were not yet on the council at that time. But I wanted to correct the record on that and reiterate that point, that a lot of good dialogue comes up at these meetings. People bring up public safety, political corruption, land use issues, traffic safety problems, and individualized resident concerns. And I think it was a great point that Mr. Social made, that not everybody's a great public speaker, and sometimes it takes time to get your point across, especially when you're dealing with a situation that's individualized to you or to your property or to your business. And yeah, so for all those reasons, I think you should maintain the 6-minute time limit and maintain the rebuttal. I think it was shameful that you abused the police powers here to silence someone and put them in fear of being kicked out of the meeting. I'm also disgusted and embarrassed, and I'm not even an Edison resident. I live in New Brunswick, but I'm embarrassed for you, and I'm embarrassed for the township, because it's not just the time limit and the rebuttal. it's part of a pattern. It's a pattern of abuse of power, incompetence, contempt for the public, and a disdain for transparency. I know folks watching on Edison TV right now can't see me because the administration made the choice to stop showing the public each other, to make it so we're in the dark about what is actually going on at this microphone. And you need only to look at the last council meeting and how it devolved to see what the real source of the problem is. It's not us on this side. It's not at all. You couldn't control the meeting when an anti-cannabis mob showed up here. You couldn't control the meeting when Christo cursed out the deputy chief. You couldn't control the meeting when Chief Bryan lashed out at Councilman Brescher last meeting. And instead of doing your job, you used the police to do your dirty work, kicking people out of these public meetings. And that is unconscionable. You should be ashamed of those actions that you've taken in your position of power. And again, it's part of a pattern. You're trying to cut down on the public time, you're trying to eliminate rebuttals, and that's not even getting started on this BS decorum ordinance. So I'm going to ask you to please, right now, just table this. Will you make a motion to table this?
No. Oh, no.
Do you have anything else to add?
I'll take that as a no. Can you tell us whose idea this was? Can you tell us whose idea this was, this ordinance? Council President, did you hear my question?
I heard your question.
Okay, and what's the answer?
This was what the council feels was necessary. This was a discussion we had, and this is what we came up with. And this was also transferred to a committee to be discussed to compare us to other towns to see where we stand. There are towns that do 3 minutes and that are a lot less than us, but I thought that was too short. And this is the recommendations of the committee based on the discussions they had, as which I was not part of. And this is what they came back with to the council to approve.
Well, respectfully, I think everybody who watches these meetings knows that Edison is a special place. And you have a lot of residents that care, a lot of residents that come here, and they actually do make a difference by speaking at this microphone. We look at things like the public advocate ordinance, the Woodbridge gas plant resolution. These are things that come from the community, and you are stifling them by cutting back on people's time. So I think that Edison's a special place and you deserve a special ordinance. You should not be cutting back. If anything, like the gentleman said, you should be expanding public access to the meetings. There's no reason this is not a hybrid meeting. Why can't folks join on Zoom? Why doesn't this ordinance include remote access? Why aren't you saying, we're going to have more people attend the meetings by opening it up on Zoom? Is that something that the committee considered?
I think that was transferred to the committee to discuss.
Council President, point of order.
Yeah, we're going off my topic here. Yeah.
I'm asking why it's not included, sir.
But that's not part of the time ordinance.
Right, why isn't it? Why, if you're changing the rules for the meeting, why not allow Zoom access to the meetings like you did in the past? Wouldn't that be a common sense, good idea that folks had brought to you before? Why isn't that being included in this ordinance? This is only cutting back, this is not expanding.
I understand.
And why are you doing that? Why are you cutting back and not expanding?
I will make my comments at the end. Thank you, sir.
Well, again, I don't live in Edison, but I can tell that the residents here deserve so much better than what they're getting.
Thank you.
Zach Sola, Borough. So actually, I wasn't planning to talk about the 6 minutes, but I was extremely pissed off the way you put this gentleman away because he only raised the Constitution. You know what happened?
Just before you continue, there are rules of this decorum. The rules are that we're not allowed to use prompts. It doesn't matter what prompt it is. You could use this as a prompt and it will be considered a prompt. I understand the value. I understand the value and the respect of the flag in the Constitution, but the rule is not to use a prop. That's it.
Yeah, can you allow me just to continue, please?
Yes.
So, I was pissed off because you put him down or you put him back. Because you only hold or raise the Constitution. You know what happened to me exactly? You give me like flashback from the country I came from the Middle East. Exactly, that's how they use their power. You are abusing the power, and you should feel shame of yourself. You give me this really bad negative impression about this country, not only the township. And I really like considering to move from the township, because I didn't flee all this 13,000 miles from Middle East, the corrupt country, that they have dictatorship, the same what you are doing right now. To come here and to have this feeling, you know. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect it. Just I'm really pissed off for the way you treat people here. I don't know, like I feel like I'm in a banana republic, not in the country. I flee to have safety, to have freedom of speech, to have respect the Constitution. But eventually that's not true. Eventually it holds lie, you know, maybe, you know. And thank you for listening. That's it.
Sylvia Engel,
You read address, please.
82 Winthrop Road, Edison.
You read, please.
If you think that members of the public are wasting your time coming here and speaking for as much as 6 minutes, I have a simple solution for you. Stop letting the mayor waste millions of dollars of our money. Fix the zoning problems in town that allow distribution centers and truck traffic in residential neighborhoods, and they cut through Winthrop Road all the time. Let our police officers patrol the township and make us safe from criminals, which they are trying to do, instead of providing an entourage for an egotistical mayor to a convention. You insult us if you say that we're not speaking efficiently, enough to suit you. As members of the public who show up at these council meetings, we're doing the best we can. Not me so much, but everybody else. We don't work for you, that you can tell us that we have to make our points 33% more efficiently. It's your job to make your meetings more efficient and effective. Fix our problems, address our issues, stop wasting our money, and then the public will stop bothering you by speaking at your meetings. Mr. President, this ordinance won't force the public to speak more efficiently. It'll just give you more chances to bang your gavel and interrupt your constituents in the middle of a sentence. Maybe that's what you want. But every member of the council who wants to do the right thing for the public will vote against this ordinance this evening.
Motion for the public portion?
No.
I'm sorry, I can see it. Sorry, Board President.
Hello, my name is Joseph Romano. I've been a committee person in District 57 for over 25 years.
Your address, sir. Your address.
55 Avenue C.
You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. I'm also the Vice President of the Edison Board of Education, which I think everyone knows, on the dais. You're allowed to speak 6 minutes at the Edison Board of Education. I preside over that meeting, and I invite everyone, the residents of Edison, the residents of New Jersey, the residents of the United States. We do have a right to speak. Let the people speak. If you don't let them speak here, please, I implore you, please come to the Edison Board of Education. I will let you speak. I will let you have the dais. I will let you talk. I will let you express. Our last meeting lasted 4.5 hours. I had 72 people speak. Not one person was restricted. There were people that were walking around and holding cameras. It's not my job to stop the public from speaking. I wish you all a good night. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your consideration. Chief, good luck.
Ordinance 2233. Alright, I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public